So last night, and it's not getting a lot of coverage, but last night, the Proud Boys in Washington, D.C. basically attacked a black church and tore down a Black Lives Matter banner from that church. You can see video of it. It's pretty disturbing, frankly. They're tearing down the banner. They're lighting it up. They're saying, "Whose street? Our street." And basically what these Proud Boys, some of Trump's most loyal supporters, the people that Trump told to be on standby for him, and they were at these insane Trump rallies yesterday in Washington, they were going around to a black church and defacing it. It's utter disgusting behavior. It's awful to see. And look, we have to be clear here that the message could not be any louder. It could not be any more explicit. You have Trump supporting Proud Boys going to centers of the black community, and for many people, that remains the church, tearing down their banners, going onto their property to deface it, saying to black people, to black Christians in particular, "You do not belong here. Your churches do not belong here. Your messages do not belong here. Your insistence that your lives matter doesn't belong here. We belong here. Whose streets? Our streets." And so in essence, in a community like Washington, D.C., which has a lot of black people and a lot of black churches who have the gall to insist that their lives matter according to core parts of the Trump base, like the Proud Boys, they do not belong there. They do not belong on these streets. And this cannot be disconnected from the hypocrisy of the American Christian, the American religious right, because they will go on for eons, guys, for hours and hours and days and weeks about a supposed war on the faithful, about a supposed war on good American Christians. They'll talk about the war on Christmas. They'll say that, leftists want to get rid of Christmas trees. Leftists won't let workers say Merry Christmas at Walmart. Leftists won't let you have Christmas parties at work. Leftists want everything to be happy holidays. All of these things are being done by the left to hurt Christian expression. And they want to take the Bible away from your children. And you heard it at the Trump rally yesterday. That, it was deeply intertwined, I'll put a link in the description of my video, with Christian expression. That the idea was that this was not just an election between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, but an election between the good Christian faithful and everybody else. And you know what everyone else means, right? It means the atheists and non-Christians and secular people and liberals and socialists, etc. And that was the narrative from the Trump rallies. But the real thorn in the side of a lot of these Trump supporters is that African American people, many of them, have devout, historic, very prominent Christian communities. And they, in some ways, really throw a whole wrench in the thing, because we have to be clear that all of these people that supposedly are defenders of Christianity, it is they and their movements historically that have attacked African American Christian communities. Look, Dylan Roof, I don't need to mention what he did again. His horrific action happened in a black church. That happened in a black church. It was targeting African Americans, yes, but particularly it cannot be separated from the black church, from the black evangelical Christian community in the United States. These sorts of things are connected. They're not going to want to hear that. Proud Boys aren't going to want to hear that. Trumpers and Republicans aren't going to want to hear that. But the direct connection is there historically and today between the attacks on the black church and what happened in Washington. They do not want you to care about Christianity unless it's white Christianity, unless it's white conservative Christianity. It's the only kind that matters. Fox News will not cover this as a war on Christianity. They won't. Even though this is the closest thing to actual Christian persecution you will see in the United States, it's almost always white Christians going up and defacing black churches. either directly or indirectly. That is the only established history of Christian persecution in the United States, going all the way back to before the Civil War, when for a long time, the owners of black people didn't want them to have Christianity in some cases. They either forced it on them and in some cases forced them away from it, or tried to ensure that their Christian messages did not preach universal equality, did not preach justice, did not preach an end to segregation. There's no reason why we should forget that Martin Luther King was rooted in a black Christian tradition. I can't get over this. This is the American religious right attacking black churches. They do not care about Christ. They only care about hate.